Hello friends, so today's video is going to be a gift guide for the readers in your life, or if you yourself are a reader, then some gift ideas for yourself. The last few years, because I have done a video like this every year for the last few years, I have focused on things that are more unique, more creative, more personal. Some of them are not actually things, but are experiences, things that you can do with a person in your life that you love. This year, it's gonna actually be a little bit more of a dry list because I wanted to look at what are the things that make reading the most accessible for me, what are the things that are the most convenient, what are things that I use the most often as a reader. So that's what I'm focusing on today. If you'd like to see some of those more creative ideas, I'll have the previous year's videos linked, but jumping into today's, the first thing that I wanted to mention would be a Libro FM account. So if there's somebody in your life, or if you yourself really like audiobooks, Libro FM is a fantastic alternative to something like Amazon's Audible. Libro FM is the same price as Audible, but the nice side of this, and the thing that makes it definitely a lot more worth it, is that you actually can connect your Libro FM account to indie bookstores. I have mine attached to my local bookstore, Changing Hands. Changing Hands is amazing. So it's awesome that when I'm reading audiobooks, I can support my local bookstore. I think that's really cool. And even though the $15 a month price tag is pretty reasonable, for some people, maybe that's not something that they really can justify spending for themselves. There are, of course, library apps that can give you access to audiobooks, but sometimes certain books aren't available or there's really, really long wait lists. So if there's somebody who loves audiobooks or somebody who's trying to get into audiobooks that's in your life, you can get them a year's worth of a Libro FM subscription. Not every single thing that I mention is going to be tied to audiobooks, but the next thing I mention is it is so amazing for staying on top of reading, and that would be AirPods or any kind of Bluetooth headphone set. So I used to have just a regular Bluetooth headphone set. The reason I'm specifically mentioning AirPods is because they hold a charge for a really long time. When they have died, you can charge them again really quickly. You just put them back in the case and they charge within the case. You can charge the case itself, of course, but it makes it easier to make them portable. You can bring them with you places if you're somebody who likes to go out and about, or if the person you're buying a gift for likes to go out and about. They can listen to their audiobooks really easily that way. They can listen to their audiobooks at the gym. And it's so nice to not have any cords. I don't have to try to find a pocket to put my phone in as I'm listening to an audiobook. It's great for if you're cleaning around the house, if you're doing the laundry, the dishes, whatever you're doing, you can listen to your audiobook. And I personally don't like headphones that have that more squishy, it feels like I'm shoving it into my ear kind of a headphone. I like the shape of the AirPod. They're also incredibly easy to attach to your device. So the previous headphones I had, it was always really frustrating because I would go to listen and then I was trying to connect them and then one of them would connect and the other one wouldn't, and it was just irritating, and it made it so that when I was trying to just focus on my book, I'd get a beep that, oh, the charge is already dying, or one of the headphones for whatever reason would lose connection, and that was frustrating, or my headphones would fall out for whatever reason, and then all of a sudden the book would keep going and then I gotta find my spot again. AirPods, they stop as soon as they're out of your ears. As soon as they're in your ears, they connect to your device. They're just really convenient. But it doesn't have to be AirPods specifically. Just a set of really great Bluetooth headphones I think are phenomenal for the audiobook listener in your life. The last few have been audiobook focused. I want to mention something that is not. Obviously, a very practical, self-explanatory gift for a bookworm is a book, right? And I generally don't mention things like gift cards and just buying books or things like that because that's not something that you really probably go to the internet to find out what's a good gift for a reader. You can probably figure that out on your own. But I did want to mention the website bookshop.org, similar to Libro FM. Bookshop.org you can attach to indie bookstores. If you don't have one in your area, you can find one that you want to attach it to. And then on top of that, if there isn't a specific one that you want to attach it to, it can just in general donate a percentage of the profits that they make to local bookstores. So again, nice alternative to Amazon. You're helping out local bookstores and you're getting a present for somebody that you really love. The next thing is just so boring that it kind of epitomizes what I was saying about how this list is just very dry. But for those of you that like to read things digitally, for those of you that do like to listen to audiobooks and maybe your phone itself or whatever your audiobook is coming from. Maybe it's losing its charge pretty quickly, whatever the case may be. Long cords for chargers are just the best. So, if you're up late at night reading on whatever kind of an e-reader you have and your e-reader is dying and you need to plug it in, but your cord just doesn't reach all the way, then you have to plug it in and you can't keep reading. So it seems so silly, and it is such a really tiny little thing, but it does impact your ability to kind of read through things without having to worry about your device running out of its battery. Speaking of things that are practical and maybe a little boring and a little outside the box this time, I call this my bedside organizer and then also my couch organizer. So you know how often on the arms of couches you get one of those little things to put your remotes in? I use those often to put my books in. And I'll sit on the couch and I just pull my book out and I just put it away. And I do the same thing for my bed. Obviously, a lot of people have nightstands, but you never know. Maybe somebody's living in a dorm. They're really confined to the amount of space they have. So the bedside organizer ones, they go under the mattress so that they stay really firmly in place. You can put your e-reader, if you have something like that, you can put your phone. You can also put your books. Whatever kind of device or literal physical book that you read from, you can put in there. I love having these. I also don't like always putting my book on my nightstand because I often, when I go to bed, will bring water with me. And I'll have my water bottle, usually with some ice because I like my water cold. And I have had instances where it sweats, and if my book is on the nightstand next to the water, then sometimes the covers get a little damp. And again, it's the little things. It's all boring, but it's just those little extra things about, let's be real, about being an adult that you get really excited about, And I really like that I can just put my book right next to me in bed, or I can put my book right next to me on the couch. And they make some really nice ones. They make some that are really actually quite pretty. So highly recommend these. And you know what? If you do have a remote that you need to have a place for also, you can put it right next to your book. You can use it for what it's usually expected to be used for. Another thing that I do often keep in these organizers with me would be tabs. So some readers really like to go through and write in their books, and other readers, they want to have spots where they can reference back to. Maybe they don't want to write in them, or maybe they have written in them, but then they want to come back to that spot and they want to have the little tabs. I have a set that I love. I did get these from Amazon. If you can find an alternative, go for it. If you can find them at a store near you, go for it. But I'm going to have some linked that come with so many different colors because I like to match the colors to the book's covers. As an example, the book Fireborn, I have the sort of red and dark colored tabs, and then its sequel, I had the blue with a little bit of green mixed in tabs, and then of course the conclusion, which is green, had some green tabs in there. You don't have to get ones that are that colorful. You can get just basic colors if you want, but they make them where they have so many within one sheet, and it comes with a bunch of them with these varying different colors and whatnot. So I find these really convenient, especially when I reread books. I like to sort of stop and tab, and just the ones that I love, the things that are my favorites. I like going back through and finding those moments that are really lovely and are the reason that I love the book. But also, this can just be convenient for somebody who maybe needs to have these for studying purposes, or maybe they're trying to be more analytical and critical with what they're reading. If they're a reviewer, especially, having parts that they can reference back to for when they're writing their reviews, it's really helpful. The next one I had to mention because it goes towards a really good cause, and I know a lot of readers also love coffee. So I'm not a big coffee drinker myself. My husband loves coffee, so I started getting him this particular coffee, and then he now often gifts it to family members. It's called Grounds and Hounds, and their coffee, they have a variety of different flavors and whatnot. You can get them as already ground, you can get them as the beans, and the flavors have the cutest names, like the Belly Rub blend. The idea is that a percentage of the money that they make goes towards animal shelters, which I think is just lovely. And the coffee has some really interesting flavors, but really delicious flavors. I have had some of it, even though I'm not a big coffee drinker. They have a cinnamon roll blend that was quite good. They have one that I think is like apple pie. My husband loves apple pie, so I think that was one I got him. Either way, they not only have coffee, but they have really, really cute mugs and they have some other merch items. So if there's a reader in your life, they love a good cup of coffee while they're reading a book, you can get them a mug, you can get them some of the coffee, and you can tell them that it also helped some doggies. Who doesn't love that? That's the best present. I feel like that's the best present if they like coffee. The last one I'm gonna mention, I use this every time I go somewhere when I travel. It's also great for if I'm going to, I'm not really one to leave my house, but if I am gonna leave my house and I wanna bring a book with me, I wanna bring my laptop, iPad, whatever, the Eco Susie bags. These are so pretty and they're a faux leather, so they're vegan. And they have that dark academia look to them. And I absolutely love these bags. They're just the right size to put your books in, to put your laptops in, to put your AirPods in, to have your tabs within them. The pockets that they have are great. And like I said, I love to bring mine when I go places. And even though most of the things I've mentioned today are all about practicality, these bags are so pretty. So I feel like aesthetically, they're also really lovely. That's it for this somewhat dry, boring gift guide for readers, but honestly, a lot of these things are truly going to be things that if it's you're buying for or a loved one, they will likely get a lot of use out of these things. If you are, like I said at the beginning, looking for those more fun, unique gift ideas or things that you can do with a person who loves to read, I'll have my previous year's videos linked. And if you want to mention any of your own, I use these all the time type of gifts, feel free to do that in the comments, because what I think is great is when people come to videos like this and they aren't just getting recommendations from me, but they see a lot of what you have to recommend as well. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you later. Bye.